Welcome to the second sound in this series of cold-themed patches. We're going to start from an initialized preset like usual. Go over into your Common tab and choose Mod 7. Jump into the EXI tab into the Patch panel. Set up VPM Oscillator 2 to frequency modulate VPM Oscillator 1. Just hit Jump, and we're going to be in VPM Oscillator 1. We have full modulation going on. Let's take that down to like 35. And instead of a sine, let's choose the sine plus wave shaper. The manual has kind of a funny description for the parameter guide for the sine plus wave shaper. Now that we have that set up, let's take off the envelope. And let's also take off the envelope of VPM Oscillator 2. So then we're using, of course, our amp envelope to dictate the volume of each oscillator. While we're in the VPM Oscillator 2 tab, let's choose our AMS source as LFO1. And let's choose an intensity. Yeah, sure, 53. Let's go into the LFO tab itself. LFO1. We're going to choose our sample and hold waveform, which is right there. Sure, key sync can be on. We're going to want to boost the frequency as high as it goes. So put it on to 99 and then plus 99. And then in our frequency modulation for the LFO, it's funny that it's called frequency modulation. I mean, that's what it is, but it's not like FM. It's much slower than that. We could just choose envelope generator 1. That's the envelope that was hard patched into the VPM Oscillator 1, but right now we're just going to use it as our mod source for our LFO since, you know, VPM Oscillator 1 isn't using it. Let's go ahead and actually go to that envelope right now and turn on the break and sustain all the way up, so we just have a standard organ type envelope. And we'll go back into the LFO tab, and then we'll hold a key and listen to the amount of modulation. It's going to speed up the LFO. That sounds pretty good. Jumping back into the oscillator tab, we are going to go to VPM Oscillator 1, and for the wave shaper, let's choose phase. And there it is. And let's put the high-pass filter. This is a pre-high-pass filter, I believe. It might post. I'm not 100% sure on that. That's what it sounds like. And let's add a little bit of drive. You can tell the sound is really quiet right now. To boost that up, let's go to our Common tab, go to our Insert Effects, and then route to Insert Effect 1. And let's choose a limiter, stereo limiter. Go into the Insert Effect tab, and then take off the ratio, since I'm only using this limiter to increase the volume of the sound. Threshold can be all the way up at 0. We can put attack and release at 1. I mean, it doesn't really matter what the attack and release are at, since there's no ratio anyway. And let's adjust the gain by 20 dB. We might adjust that later, but for now, it'll give us some volume. So jumping back into our EXI tab, let's go to VPM Oscillator 2 and choose a square wave to give us a bit more crunch in the sound. Now let's jump into the patch panel, and we'll send this output to mixer 1 and also the noise to mixer 1. And let's take down the noise level. Let's take it all the way down and then listen to it while we're turning it up. And actually, it's not going to the output, so we wouldn't hear it anyway. Instead of just sending it to the output, let's send it to filter A, and then send filter A to the output. And now let's adjust our noise level. 15 is fine. So let's jump into our filter A. We're going to go with a 24 decibel high pass filter. And let's take the frequency all the way down. We'll put reso on full. And it's not letting us choose the resonance type, but on the Kronos itself, this is that same glitch with the editor. Looking at the Kronos itself, I'm going to jump into the EXI tab and then the filter, and I'm going to change this resonance type to high or full or whatever. So, EXI, filter. Yeah, high. There we go. So you can see it. So, listening to that, let's boost resonance up a bit, and then let's also increase the frequency. Boost resonance up a bit more. Okay. And a little bit more. Let's take frequency down just a bit. Now for our filter modulation, it automatically chooses envelope generator 7. And we're going to use that envelope generator to modulate the cutoff of our filter. So let's go into our envelope generator. Go to envelope generator 7. We'll choose full break, full sustain. Might as well put release up a bit. 63 is fine. And then put the attack up a bit as well. Actually, quite a bit. Let's go to like 70. Yeah, a little bit higher. 75. And then we'll go into our filter. And then I'm going to need to adjust this on the face of the Kronos itself. And let's see. Filter modulation. Okay, so on the Kronos, it's actually choosing envelope generator 8 as our filter A envelope. So this is just one of those weird glitches with the editor where it doesn't match up with what's happening on the Kronos. So let's actually go into our envelopes, and we'll do the same thing for envelope generator 8. Go down to 70, 75, 78 is fine. No, let's do 75. And then put that release up. Also in our amp, might as well, while we're fashioning all these envelopes, change our amp envelope, full sustain, have our release 48 is fine. Give it a little bit of attack as well. 20 is good. The envelopes are pretty fast, so. Okay, going back to envelope generator 8, it's looking good. On the Kronos itself, I'm going to increase the modulation intensity of the envelope generator 8 on the cutoff of the filter. So I just boosted up to 60. Let's hear what that sounds like. And that's a little fast, so let's go back into our envelope generator 8. Boost that up to 85. Go back into our filter. And let me take down the envelope generator intensity. Again, this is envelope generator 8, not 7, even though it's displaying that here. Let's try 39. That's pretty much it. Let's give it a little bit more resonance. Let's boost the frequency up a little bit. Give it actually a little bit more resonance. And let's take our modulation intensity down a little bit. Filter mod. 39. Dropping it down to 30 and then giving that a listen. And now in our oscillator section, I want it to be a little bit crunchier, so I'm going to try to give it some more drive. Nope. I actually like the way it sounds at 9 dB. And take off the high pass filter entirely. So the idea was to go for a kind of thawing sound, and I hope I achieved it with this patch. I had made a more refined version in case you wanted to hear that, but that is the entirety of this sound. Just to show you my refined version, I think it'll sound pretty much similar. Let me go to my insert effects and actually turn on that limiter to give it some volume. But woo, and that's a lot of volume. Let's turn off the limiter. Let's see what that sounds like. No, we got to turn it on, and let's just take it down. So you can hear it's very close. Just gentle tweaks here and there might help change the sound. But I hope you enjoyed this. And then tomorrow I'm going to go over how to make a soundscape, and it's going to be a good segue into a few other kind of atmospheric sounds that I'm going to make. Thank you.